So, if you ever get victory in any area, be sure to give the credit to God and to say the Lord keeps you. But this is very important. And there's another thing mentioned here about not, in all these places we see in Titus 1 verse 7 also, not fond of sordid gain. That means not eager to make money, not money hungry. That's how it says in the Message Bible, money hungry. Are you money hungry? Always hungry for more and more? If you are without a job, or you're not earning enough to meet your family's needs, then to eagerly look for sources of income, maybe even more than one source of income, is perfectly right. That's like an unmarried man looking for a wife. He looks at this girl, that girl. He's always looking at to find out, is this one suitable for me, that one suitable for me? Like that, to look for money and job to support yourself is absolutely right. But if you are already earning far more than what you need for your family income, and you're still seeking for more, then I'll tell you what you're like. You're a married man who's still looking around for other women. Are you like that? You're a married man, you've already got a wife, but you're still looking around for other women. It's exactly the same when you earn far more than enough for your earthly needs, and you're still looking around for more and more and more and more. Because what happens is, there's nothing wrong in earning more money, but it can sap your usefulness to God, because you've got to spend time for that. So I say it's perfectly right for a single man, single woman to look for a marriage partner, and it's perfectly right for a person without a job or who's not earning enough to support a family to look for any more sources of income. There's nothing wrong in getting a better job. I always tell people, when you apply for jobs, go for the one that gives you the highest salary. If you don't have to sacrifice your soul and your family life, look for a good salary. There's nothing wrong in that. Like I always encourage parents to give their children the best education possible. Let them go as far as possible in education. But we have to make sure we are not money hungry. And I'll tell you why. Because that affects your family life. The first two problems in family life is, one, in-laws, and the other is money. These are the two areas where maximum conflict arises in a family. And that's why we have to be very careful in these areas, that we have a scriptural position in relation to our in-laws. Sometimes it's a very complicated situation in relation to in-laws, where there may be some who are dependent and who need help, and then of course we must help them. I remember one man asking me, one brother many years ago in our church asked me, my parents are poor, they've done a lot to educate me and bring me up, and now they are in need. But when I try to help them, my wife says, no, we can't give them money. So what should I do? I said, obey the word of God, which says your left hand should not know what your right hand is doing. So just give them some money without your wife knowing about it. It's perfectly right. Because it is right for you to help your parents. And, it's a little more difficult to answer a question when a wife's parents are needy and she's not earning anything. I wouldn't make a rule on that, but if you can help them too. Peter was a good man. He had his mother-in-law staying in his house. We know that from Matthew chapter 8. And he was concerned when she was sick that he told Jesus about it, and Jesus came and healed her. See, in all these things there is no law. There is no law which says you must keep your mother-in-law in your house or you must not keep your mother-in-law in your house. There's no law in all these things. And why doesn't the Bible lay down rules? It just says emotionally we must be detached from our parents. And if your wife knows that you're really one with her, that every decision you will take with her, and you're one with her, I believe the average wife would be considerate towards helping your in-laws financially, or even taking care of them if they are in physical need. And you will never regret that. Of course, there are some very evil women who want to be completely free of their husband's parents, but you will see that they will suffer in the long run. Have you heard that story? I mentioned it once, of a man who had his old widowed father staying with him, and his wife just was a very, I would say, an evil woman, and she didn't really want to care for the husband's father. And you know how that can be a big struggle. And she finally told him, listen, you're going to have either him or you're going to have me. There are many wives who have spoken like that, and the husband is torn between a father who cared for him when he was a baby and brought him up, or it could be a mother, and a wife whom he has to be united with. And it's a very difficult decision. So they lived near a forest, and the wife suggested, why don't you put your father in this wheelbarrow and push it out into the middle of the forest and leave him there. Let him die. He's old in any case. He's not going to live another year or two. So he finally had to do it. And he put his father in a wheelbarrow and said, I want to take you for a walk. He was an old, helpless man. And his little son, his 8-year-old son, said, Dad, where are you going? He said, oh, we're just going for a walk with Grandpa. He said, I want to come with you. So they walked together into the forest, and then the son saw the father leaving his father there, old grandfather there in the middle of the forest, and walking back. Then the son understood what was happening. And so he said, Dad, don't leave the wheelbarrow there. Bring that back, because when you're old, I'll need it to take you also into the forest, to leave you there, also like this. It takes a little boy sometimes to put sense into a selfish man or woman. So honor your father and mother. It'll go well with you. I'll tell you that. Learn to honor your father and mother.